Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here, and we are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Friday, for payday, April 15th slate of NBA and MLB games. I'm super excited to hop into it. We do have the second round of the play-in games, and I'm really excited to dive into those truly. I think that we have a pretty good slate on. I think we have two actually pretty solid games. I think they should be close. And on top of that, we have a full slate of MLB too. So as of right now, I do have one game from each of the playing games, and then I do have an MLB play, and then I have something new. We're gonna try this out. We're gonna see how it goes. It's not gonna be an official play. I'm gonna be calling it an experiment. You'll see what I mean here in just a second, but before we do go ahead and dive into it, I did just want to go ahead and say that as of right now, we are on the road to 7,000 subscribers. So if you guys are new, make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Next, I did just want to go ahead and give a quick shout out here to all of our members here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for everything that you guys do, and thank you guys so much for giving such a small channel such a big chance, as I always say. It truly does mean a lot to me. So let's go ahead and dive into it with a quick recap of yesterday. We just cannot get over that hump. We truly can't. We're just having these, average days just here and there all the time, and it's we need to turn it around. But the science experiment kind of goes with how the last couple days have gone for sports betting, and you'll see what I mean here in a second. But or towards the end of the video, but. First things first, we did have the Cardinals money line versus the Brewers. They couldn't get a single thing going. They had absolutely nothing going for the entirety of the game. They really did not play very well, and there was a lot of people on the Cardinals, and that really scared me, especially with them being heavy dogs. I definitely, I guess plus 130, but that's still pretty heavy. And the fact that a lot of people were on them definitely scared me. But then we had Oakland A's and Tampa Bay over 8 runs. Thank God for that error of the inside of the park home run, because that was a game changer for sure. And I think it was in like the second inning. So that definitely put a really good damper on things. And then Tampa Bay tried to make a late run to try to come back into the game, and it ended up working out for us. So we ended up winning that one. Then we had Cubs plus 0.5 in the first 5 versus the Rockies. That one ended up working out for us as well. The Cubs actually got the bats going really early. It did turn into a sweat though. They were up 3-1 with bases loaded, 2 outs, but they were able to get it done. So thankful for that. But we did also add the Angels minus 0.5 runs, or minus 0.5 in the first 5. Ohtani gave up a grand slam, so that one definitely hurt us for sure. So, but it is what it is. They ended up losing by like 4 in the entirety of the game. So just a tough loss overall, but I'm super excited to hop into it today. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Our first play of the day, we're going to be taking Trae Young over 29.5 points here versus Cleveland at minus 120 odds. Now, look, I know he hasn't covered in 2 straight games, but you got to really look at how the games kind of played out and kind of the totality of those games before you really make a decision on something like that. And basically what I mean is, if you look at it, the last game was versus the Hornets. Now, not saying that the Hornets are a bad team by any stretch of the imagination, but look at the outcome of that game. The outcome of that game was not really close at all. And so he didn't really have a whole lot to play for. And on top of that, he shot 33%. He had a really tough game, especially to start out the game. He was really, really bad. And so, like, the fact that it was a blowout, the fact that he didn't start the game out hot, and he still got that many shots. I think it was like 24 or something. He definitely was on pace to hit it. I think he finished with like 24, and I think he would have if he would have literally just shot like 45, 50%. So, and then the game before that was versus the Rockets. It was the very last game of the season. I mean, really, Trae Young did not have a reason to try in that game, and he really didn't. So, but before that, he did cover in 5 of his 6 games before that, so he has been on a scoring tear. It's just these last 2 games have been a little bit off. And versus Cleveland, he's always been able to turn it on. He's actually covered in 3 straight games versus Cleveland. He scored 30+. So I think that that's a really good one. And he's going to be going against Darius Garland. Now, I think that this is a good matchup for him, mostly for the fact that I'm not saying that Darius Garland's a bad defender by any stretch of the imagination, But if you've watched this Cavs team lately, Darius Garland has had to do so much on both sides of the floor that it's going to be tough for him to keep up with a guy like Trae Young and be able to play defense and be able to go out and score 30, because if Darius Garland doesn't go out and score 30, it's going to be very tough for this team to be able to keep it close with this Hawks team, who showed a lot of promise here versus the Hornets. So I do think Garland's going to have to do a lot in this game, and so I think that Garland is going to kind of struggle on the defensive end versus a guy like Trae Young. So that is our first play of the day. Trae Young over 29.5 points versus Cleveland at minus 120 odds. Now, our second play of the day is going to be a spread pick. We're actually taking the Clippers -4 here versus the Pelicans at minus 110 odds. Now, I know they are coming off of a loss here versus Minnesota, but prior to that, they were on a 5-game win streak to finish off the year, so they definitely were heading in the right direction. They did just struggle against the Minnesota Timberwolves, but that's where I think that we see a little bit of value too. I think that they are going to try to bounce back from this. I think they're going to, they're going to have to win this game. So I think that they're going to be able to get it done for sure. So this is a great bounce back spot here for the Clippers, and who obviously had to have gotten pretty rallied up by that loss, with Patrick Beverley, and you guys know all the antics that have happened with Patrick Beverley. But also, these two teams did match up about 2 weeks ago, on April 3rd to be exact, and the Clippers actually won by 19. So they definitely have proved that they can beat this Pelicans team, and I think they're going to be able to do it again. The Pelicans on the road this year haven't been a great team either. They are just 20-21 against the spread on the road, and as an underdog, they're not very good either. They are 27-32 as an underdog. So I do think we see a little bit of value here, especially with such a small spread. So we're going to be taking the Clippers -4 here versus the Pelicans at minus 110 odds. Now, our MLB play of the day, we're going to be taking the Guardians. I am personally going to be taking the run line on them, +1.5 here versus the Giants at minus 130 odds. But if you want to take the money line, I also think that it's a fantastic bet. That is going to be juiced a little bit more to +130. I'm just going to be a little bit safer here, truthfully. So if you want to take the money line, go for it. I'm all for it. Now, if you look at it, the Guardians, they are on a 4-game win streak as of right now, so they definitely are getting things going. And not to mention, this is their home opener. That's a key. That's a very key factor. This is their home opener, so I think that we do see a little. I mean, like, the home openers have just been free cash this year. Anytime that a team is at their home opener, they've just been playing really well. We just saw that with the Brewers versus the Cardinals. So I think that we do see a little bit of value there. And also the pitcher here for the Guardians, he does have a 3.86 ERA with a 22-14 record. So he's definitely a legit pitcher. And so I think that he does get it done against this Giants team. Not saying this Giants team's bad, but it is a home opener spot, and the Guardians have actually been really, really good here. So I'm going to be taking it. Guardians +1.5 versus Giants at minus 130. Going to be probably putting a half unit on the money line as well. So now for the science experiment that I was kind of talking about, I know you guys are probably like, what are you talking about? So here's kind of my thought process on it. So a lot of the public plays that have been going on have been losing. For example, yesterday I took the Cardinals money line. So many people were on the money line. It was ridiculous amount of people that were on the money line, and a ridiculous amount of people were on the Angels in the first 5. Both of those plays lost. My other 2 plays that I did have, the Cubs first 5 and the what was it? I can't even remember. The Cubs, and then the over for the A's and the Rays game. The line actually moved down to 7.5 for the Rays and the A's game. So a lot of people were on the under. So here's essentially what I'm going to be doing. A lot of the public plays have ended up losing. So I'm going to go each and every night just for the next couple of days just to see how it works. We're going to be going to the most bet on game at that time, seeing what the public is liking for it, and we're going to be taking the opposite side. It's not going to be an official play, but it's just going to be something that is kind of fun that I'm going to be kind of looking at, seeing if it actually is working, seeing, just how it's going to work. So this is going to be the public fade plays experiment. That's what it's going to be called. So for this, as of right now, it looks like there is over 2,000 bets on this Arizona Diamondbacks and New York Mets game. And I'm looking at it now. It looks like 88% of the bets are on the New York Mets. So in this situation, with the Diamondbacks on the road going to New York. We're going to be taking the Diamondbacks plus 1.5 at minus 105 odds. So we're going to see if this experiment works. It's just going to be something that's fun. But yeah, so, obviously it's not official. There's no good stats to back it up. Well, at least I haven't looked. But just something I'm going to try out. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Yeah, so make sure that, like I said, we're on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so make sure you guys are subbed if you guys are new. But that's going to do it for me. This is King Sarah signing out. Peace.